Hi, and good night. My name is Mika Alban Yahosher Al, and welcome to Truth Matters Broadcasting, where we discern the truth about religion, the kingdom of God, and the church. Welcome. If you're joining me for the first time, let me just take this time to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for attending my live, viewing my live. Our content on live is to bring one to a place where one can think and decide for oneself. Throughout the dark ages, and sometimes when we look at the word dark ages, we think evil ages. But if you really look at it, dark ages, it has a spiritual but also a physical matter to it. All right. As I get into today's topic is like we've talked about this. And the reason why I want to do this topic is because I want to go over some things that is taking place, mostly on Facebook with my Facebook. Let's say not all, but some of my Facebook viewers, particularly one Chris Winner. I don't miss the name here, Chris Winner. And so I want to take tonight to really address Chris Winner tonight. But in the process, I want to set the tone for those who are viewing, especially if this is your first time here, to just let you kind of know what my content is about. Truth matters. Truth matters. It matters because if you put the truth on the back burner, you bury it. At some point in your life, you're going to have to go back for it. At some point, you're going to have to dig it up. Truth is like a hot air balloon trapped underwater. Truth is like a hot air balloon trapped underwater. It will come to the surface. Now, when the truth comes, it's never easy. Truth is never easy, ladies and gentlemen, because it challenges the very core of your existence. So when you hear truth, you will quickly know for certain if you're on the side of truth or you're on the side of whatever or error. I've taken the time to tell you a little bit about who I am. I give you my journey of how I was raised as a Christian. I walked through my experience as a Christian believer. I've believed in Jesus. I've believed in Trinity, the triune God. I believe in Sunday, that Sunday was the day of rest. After all, everyone did it. So I believe never in these things. I never questioned my origin. All I knew is that I was a black Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. I didn't know the word racist or racism until I was 18 years of age and I learned it in America. Where I'm from in Jamaica, we know classism. We didn't know racism. We know classism. You're either rich or you're poor. There was only middle class. Middle class considered rich. Okay, you're either rich or you're poor. You either have or you have not. We also understand the color system. It wasn't racism, but it was a color system in our country, in my country where I was born and raised. If you have a lighter skin, you are looked upon as either brighter, you get more opportunities than a person with a darker complexion. You know, we in my country we call it browning. Yeah, you know what I mean? And a girl brown skin, we call it browning. Right? Usually when a girl is have a darker skin, we'll call them blackie or black gal, right? But once a woman has a lighter skin, we call them browning, fair, fair or browning. And the browning was preferred over the darker skin girl. But we never understand racism because in my country we were never taught racism. We were never taught it. We never looked at down at anyone, white, black, Spanish, Puerto Rican. We were just fascinated. We were fascinated with the different ethnicity in our country. In my country, we have Chinese, and the Chinese in our country was looked upon as classy, as wealthy. They got money, they got the business. The Japanese, so you take your girlfriend out to the Chinese store and you eat at a Chinese restaurant. You know what I mean? It was a more classic. These people were rich. We have the Indians. We have Indians in my country. So Indians were looked upon as not as not on the same level as black people. Indians were looked at a different level. Like Indian was more at a different level. And why? Because of the way they look here. Mainly the here. We used to call it good here. Good here versus bad here. If you're here with curly, and we used to call it nappy. You're a nappy head boy. So we want our hair to be straight. So when you see somebody with straight here was considered good here. So if if you have a straight hair, you are naturally a good person, or a rich person, or a more at a higher class than a person with nappy head. That's where we come from. We didn't understand this because we didn't get any training in our school system, our education system. We didn't get any training. Our parents never trained us like that. They never sit us down and tell us about racism and our history of slavery. We knew a little bit about Sam Shark and Paul Bogle and Bustamante and Marcus Garvey and Nani of the Maroons. They fought we know about these things. But the extent of racism, the extent of slavery, you didn't know anything about that. So here I come to America. I was 17 plus years old. I was 4 months from my 18th birthday. Know nothing of my history, nothing about racism, about race, nothing at all. And I remember enrolling in school. I remember, listen to me, when I first came to America, I came to America April 3rd, 1990. I was 17 years old. 14 days later, I was enrolled in school. I had to learn fast. My mother was a single mom. She had to go to work. I'm 17 years old, come to a new country, learning new things, seeing new things for the first time. Never seen a train run underground before. Never seen high stalls, high scraping buildings. We live on the ground floor. We never lived on the fourth floor. You know, when we came to America, we lived on the fourth floor. Take an elevator to the fourth floor. All these things are strange to me. Not that I didn't know what an elevator was, but I never ride an elevator every day. It wasn't an everyday thing for us. So I learned a lot when I came here. 14 days later, I was in school. I had to learn fast. I had to learn the system fast. And one day on the train, ladies and gentlemen, this black guy and this white guy had to get into a little thing. And the black guy said to the white guy, "You mother-loving racist punk." And he's going on and on and on. And for the first time in a long time, I heard a word I did not understand. I didn't understand the word. I didn't understand the word racist. I've never heard it before. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it meant. I'm 17 years old. At this point now, I'm 18 years old. I couldn't wait to come home. See, I didn't want to tell my mom. I didn't want to ask somebody on the street. I didn't even want to ask the black guy, what is a racist? I didn't want to put myself out there. I didn't want to expose myself. This is a good one. Let me write this down here. Um, expose myself. And this is a very important point that I want to go back to speaking here when in talking about this. I didn't want to expose myself. So I went home and I asked my mother, Mom, what is race? What is before my mother answered that question, let me just let you know one thing. So I came to America. I live in Jamaica. Everybody around me black. I'm accustomed to white people. That's the Jamaica. And I remember when I was about 8 years old, the first white person I ever met was a white guy. I was on the beach, Ocho. I was in Ocho. I was about 8 years old. You know, it was the beach. I was so fascinated. First time I saw the beach, 8 years old. First time I actually saw the beach. First time I looked at the beach. You know, around us, rivers and lakes. First time I see the beach. Maybe they took me to the beach when I was too young. I don't know, but at this point in my life, I knew. I looked at it, and I was so amazed at the beach. I thought that the heavens touched the earth. You know, I was like, look, the sky touched the earth. You know, like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. That was me at 8 years old. And I remember the first white guy I laid eyes on, the first white person I laid eyes on. I was on that beach and a white person was on the beach. And I walked up to that man and I touched him. And I touched his hands. I pulled the hair on his hand like that. I touched his face. I pulled the hair on his face. I wanted to touch his eyes because I was look at me. And I was, from that point till today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fascinated by from that point in my life to this point in my life, I'm fascinated. White people fascinate me. Okay? If I have to tell you that I'm not racist, then I'm racist. You have to know me. You ask me, Mike, are you racist? I would say, get to know me and you find out. I'm fascinated with white people. When I came to America, I lived in Brooklyn, New York. If you play the Monopoly, you know that Brooklyn on Park Place was one of the richest states on the Monopoly, Broadway and Park Place. And we're going to live on Park Place. So you know I'm super excited to come to America because my parents lived on Park Place in Brooklyn. Couldn't wait to come. All of the trip, the plane ride here. Um, I remember we came at night. My mother specifically requested that we come at night. We came by ourselves. Me and my brother came in. Me and my brother came in. Me and my brother and my mother came. We came at night, even. And I remember coming down in New York City, Kennedy Airport, and I watched as the plane fly over the airport and fly into the United States and start to circle and I see all the lights everywhere. It was so amazing to me. I'm 15 years old. I couldn't wait. Land the plane. The plane was taking too long to land. They come down and then when we get to the airport, they have to circle the airport. I hated that. But it was nice because I get to see all the lights. And then we land and we went through customs and it took a little while. And once we got through, I remember my mother's best friend, my mother's best friend was there to pick us up, Terry. And we got to the airport. You know, fascinating. 7 years old. Fascinating. New life. Fascinating. New life in America. I see white people in the plane, rode up in the plane with me, white people everywhere in the airport, white people. I remember once we got into her car, she drove from Queens. I'm just fascinated with the lights, the people, the cars. It was just fascinating. Once we got to Brooklyn, my mom asked us if we were hungry. We said, yeah, we were hungry. They stopped at Kentucky and buy some chicken, 10 piece Kentucky, and they bought pizza. It was one of the biggest slice of pizza. Back in the days, pizza is not pizza like it was in the 90s, in the early 90s. Let me tell you something. You hold a darn slice of pizza with both hands. You eat two, your belly full. We had pizza and chicken for about 3 weeks. Pizza in Kentucky. About 3 weeks straight. Kind of giving you my life here. So that you can understand something. Because my post offends some people. And I see that the people that are offended is mostly white people. And I'm gonna tell you my experience in there too. I'm gonna tell you my experience. So I come to America, this place, a lot of new opportunity, and I came to our apartment on Park Place. And then we went up in the elevator, down to the fourth floor. And I'm excited. I said, but wait, it won't look as rich as I thought it would, but hey, it is what it is. All right, this night, let me see what it's like in the morning. So in the morning, we got up very early. And I remember asking my mother, can I go outside? And she said, you might get lost. Make sure you write down where you live in your hands. I wrote down where I live. Said, anybody say, write down a piece of paper just in case where you come. Right, the between street is between the both streets. You gotta make sure, if you're lost, you get some quarter, you get the phone booth. I don't know if you know about phone booth there. And she said, you write your number down, the house number, and you write your between street, and you write your number down. And all right, cool. So we walk in. There's a funny joke about that too. I'm gonna tell you that in a minute. So we're walking, and I'm looking on the street, and I'm recognizing the neighborhood I live in is all black people. I'm looking around because I'm looking for white people. Where are the white folks? I want to intermingle. I want to learn a new culture. I want to learn something more than what I'm good at. I want to learn new things. I want to see new things. I want to experience new things. So when I came here to Brooklyn, to America, in my neighborhood, there was no white people at all. But if you go 5 blocks east, you're on past Eastern Parkway. I realized that all the Jews lived in that area. If you go 10 blocks down to the right, like you go towards Flatbush, you would see a mixture of white and black people, but mostly white. Park Slope, white people. You go to Brunswick and Brunswick, you see Spanish people. If you go over here, you see more black people. If you go down here, you see Chinese people. And I'm thinking to myself, why on earth does people live separate? And I remember asking my mom, where are the white folks? Where are the white folks? She said, they live over there. I said, what? Why do they live over there? And this is not what I was expecting when I come to America. I'm expecting something different. And I was 17 years old, 18 years old, and I tell you, 17 at the time, and I was crying to go back home to Jamaica. I didn't want to stay here. America was not what I expected. It's not what I saw on television. It's not what I expected. I didn't want to be here. I had a better life than Jamaica. I didn't live stocked up in apartment buildings. I didn't know what that was. I lived in a house. I lived on an quarter acre of land with fruit trees, and you know, I didn't live in a block we call apartment. I didn't know nothing about no apartment. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't want to be here. That is my experience, basically. 14 days later, I told you I went to school. Now, my mother gave me this choice. If you, granted, you, I left a son back home. I had a girl pregnant. My son was 4 months old and I left him from America. So my mother gave me a choice. You got to do something. You got to go to college or you got to go to trade school. I choose trade school because I had a son that went to school. I went to trade school, Apex Technical School. I'm welding. I'm a welding career. Nothing. I came from America. That's when I went to Apex Tech. There some white people, Spanish people, black people. I love it. I love it. I love to see different people. I love it. I noticed as I grow older, I noticed this, how in a certain controlled environment people are together, but when they come out of these controlled environments, they're different. They're different. They they'll talk to you one way and behave one way, but when they go out on the street, they behave another way. They behave another way. When they're amongst friends, they behave one way. And I start to notice these things, and then I hear the word race. I start to notice the behavior before I know what it was. You get me? You understand what I'm saying? So when I found out what racism is now, then I start to study it. I start to get into it. And I want to know why this person is more like this person because the color is not this. I thought it was nonsense. I thought it was madness. How can you not like me because of the color of my skin? How can I not like you because of the color of your skin? That's madness to me. I'm not saying the first white person I saw was talking to me. I thought it was a darn angel. Because, you're open. All the angels are white. So when you see a white man as a young boy, you're going to automatically think he's angel. I knew about the white Jesus back then. You know what I mean? At that point in my life, I would have think that was Jesus. Because he sure looked like he had blonde hair, blue eyes, right? White skin. He sure looked like Jesus. So I would have thought it was Jesus. So you could see my fascination with white people. So now I come here and I start learning my history. Now, as here I am at 17, 18, and I'm learning this thing while I'm trying to make a life for myself, while I'm trying to get into Bolivia and New York. And so I finished Apex Technical School. I passed with great. I honored AWS certified, American Welding Society certified to get a job anywhere. My first job interview, I go on. They loved me, loved me. This is me. My first job interview, I went on. They loved me. They gave me a practical test. Practical test where they give you the medal and see how you do, how it looks. I aced that damn thing. When I say I aced it to the point where the foreman, who was white, said to me, Mike, I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad you're walking here. We've been waiting for a guy like you. Your work is excellent. Your theory is excellent. You are the man. You will get a call from me. But while I was there was a white guy. He wasn't much older than me. Because at that point, I was 18 plus, going on 19. Yeah, I was about 18 plus. And the other kid, and I call him a kid because he wasn't older than me, but he was in my age. He probably was, maybe a little younger than me. Maybe he was 18, maybe he was 22, I don't know. But he went and did the test after me. I did it first, he did it after. And I stood around. I stood around because, hey, I want to know who my competition was. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get this job. And I know they had three guys in there. The first one I knew wasn't going to get the job because I looked at his piece and I hear what the supervisor said, and I knew he wasn't going to get the job. And me came second, and the good report I got, I'm going to get the job. And then the guy comes third. I stuck around, so I started to pack up my stuff a little slowly, and just hang around. I wanted to see what the guy was doing. When he went in and I looked at his work, I just knew it. I got the job. The job was mine. I knew the job was mine because I looked at his work, I looked at my work, I looked at the first work, and there was only three people came in to do the job. I knew the job was mine. Now I was told to come back for my second interview at a later date, maybe a week later. I think. When I came back, I guess they supposed to call me, but they didn't. So I came back in thinking I got the job. I came with clothes and boots. I was ready to go to work because that job was mine. That's when the supervisor, ladies and gentlemen, who looked fired and apologized to me. He said, "I can stop." He said, "You went. What was it? You looked at me. I'm sorry. I went in a different direction." And I was a little hurt because I'm like, he already congratulated me and shake my hand. We've been looking for you. Can't wait for you to start. If you did it, if you did it before, but you did it before. And he literally said, it wasn't, it wasn't. But I will wait. He said, I'll wait. Give it 2 weeks. And see how he does it. I said, but there's no way. You should get this stuff. You look me right in the car and said, and then he just turned his back to walk away. That was my first experience. That was my first experience with the boss hired a white who could not do that over me. That was my first experience with racism in this country. Now, when you have that experience, you start realizing, my goodness gracious, is this what it's going to be? This is in the early 90s, early 90s, early 92, 90, yeah, 91. Yeah, somewhere around 90, somewhere around 90, going on 91. And that's when I got my first taste of classism, racism, black versus white. And I realized I started to study more into this thing, and I realized for me to get a job, I have to be in a place where there can be no doubt. In other words, I gotta be 3 to 4 times better than the average guy. Imagine that, just to think that you have to be 3 to 4 times better, and you can't just be good. You have to be better than good because you're in competition, not with the guy who's maybe better than you. You're in competition because you are of a darker complexion, like you're black. And remember, I didn't know much about racism. I told you I didn't know, but I've experienced it. And I remember when I first started going to stores, like you go into stores where the Arabians, these are stores and you watching the burgers, feeling like wow, you know. And you will go to like market, you go up, maybe you can't find something, you go up and down the aisle, and people looking at you like, are you coming up, people asking you, may I help you? Not, may I help you? How can I help you? May I help you? As in, what are you doing here? Or you walk into a store and you see the camera move, following you, and you stop, you look at the camera, and you move back, and you see the camera move again. You're like, what? Or you have a dealer with a cop, and he's looking at you, and he asking you questions like, where you going? Where am I going? Why is that important? And when you try to gather information from the cop, now you give them a reason. So I find that the best thing to say is, I'm going home. I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the store. Right? It's like you're being seriously policed. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've experienced it in my life, and I don't have time. This I don't have time to tell you about racism in my experience. I don't have time to go through this amount of things that I've experienced. So when you study racism, and you study how it works, and you study that you're looked at differently because of the color of your skin. Whether you want to accept it or not, this is just the way it is. You're looked at because of the way you dress. And I've proven that many times. I've seen that many times. See, I used to wear a suit a lot. I wear a suit and tie a lot. So people look at me differently. Man, I was somebody who would wear a hoodie and a cap backwards and sneakers and shoes. I remember going into a building in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue. And I got on the suit and my friend was with me and he was just normal. He dressed normal. He was very nice, very clean. What we consider normal. And me and him walking side by side. And the security guard stopped my friend. You're walking side by side, and the security guard stopped my friend and asked him, "What is your business?" And I look around at the security guard and said, "He's with me." And he's like, "Okay." Now, what I did not tell you in that story, that me and my friend is the first time we're going in the building. I never seen anybody in the building. I've never been in that building before. But I was judged based on how I look. I looked the part like an attorney. I looked the part like somebody's important. So people automatically judge me based on how I look. But they judge my friend as well based on how he looked. And that's how I look on a regular day. You dress a certain way, you go into the building and say, "Okay, I'm going to see so and so and so." They call upstairs first to make sure that it's true that you're actually going to go see that person. While other people who are white are walking past, looking like me, dressed like me, walking past, but they want to know where I'm going. So you can't tell me about risk. You can't tell me about risk. I've experienced it first hand, first class. Even recently, I've experienced it. I've experienced racism. It doesn't die. It's still here. It's in the heart of even those who claim not to be racist. Let's go back. Let's go to church. Let's go to church. Let's go to church, ladies and gentlemen. When I came to America, I went to all black church. All black church. And then later on, I joined a church that was mixed up with all types of people. And I love that church. I love that church because I love to see all types of people. I love it. But when we had this big outreach in the church, I looked at one day and I said to myself, this church is going to become an all black. And this is the second time I did that. And I lived to see that happen. Right here in New England, right here in New England, I looked in the church and said, this church is going to become a black all black church. And they looked at me funny. They were watching me. Give it a couple of years. This church will be all black. I'm going to explain to you why I said that. I'm going to explain to you why I was able to know that it can happen. So let's go back to the first church, the New York City Church of Christ. New York City Church of Christ is one of the best churches I've ever been to. I love that church. I have a love for that church even today. Even today. And that's the first time I really see people of different ethnicities truly loving each other. The leadership of the church was all white. Then they start raising up black leaders. And let me tell you, what I've witnessed in the New York City Church of Christ, the Brooklyn sector, let me tell you what I've witnessed. I have witnessed, and the church was filled with black, white, I'm telling you. And it seems for a moment everybody had equal opportunity. They raised a black pastor who was preaching. They raised a black ministry, singing ministry leader. I was also a leader in that church, so I was raised up to lead music. But once we started to do outreach, where we started sending people to plant churches, I noticed, and anybody in the New African Church of Christ in the early 90s and 2000 in a testament, early 90s, in a testament, they were only sending black people. I'm sorry, they were only sending out white people. And the only black people that would get chosen to go on mission trip is those who marry white. And I looked at it and everybody catch on to it because I see it. It was so plain. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the church here of Brooklyn and New York sector became an all black church. It was flash before me. I don't know what it's like now because I haven't been there a long time. But I can guarantee that all the leaders are the black majority black church. It's the same. And fast forward to 2000, fast forward to 2017, 2018, 2018. And I came to Maine. I didn't choose to come to the most I got was to I came to Maine and we went to a church, Seventh Day Adventist church in Portland, 7th Day Adventist. Now, first church I came to here, and I saw the church was all white with one black family, one black. And this guy used to work on ships. He was Seventh-day Adventist in Jamaica. So, most likely he come up here and looking for something in the church. They welcome him, but he never lived here. He would come in, he would sing, he would share his talent, he would share experience, and he'd go back on the boat. And it was nice because he wasn't a member. He was a so-called brother, but he wasn't a member. And then eventually he stayed here, and then he brought his family up and later, and they started he fit the culture of one black family in that all white church. I mean, if somebody can say, well, Maine is majority white, so it's acceptable, right? You can use that. Here comes my family. We came to live in Maine, of course. We are Adventists at the time, and you can use us at the time. We were Adventists, right? So we came here, and I met that black family in that church. And even though we lived closer to the Freeport Church, black family was there. He's from Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica. And I want to be around. I'm going to this church, and I quickly become a leader in this church. And everywhere I go, the most like God always drives me up. And I told my wife yesterday, today, I told my wife, I just want to be known. I don't want to leadership position. I just want to be known. Anyway, he quickly rose up to leadership in the church. So my singing style is different. I'm not going to sing like I'm not praising the God who created me and give me life. When I sing, I imagine myself in the throne room of God. I'm looking at Him. I don't want to take my eyes off Him, but it's too bright. I can't see Him. And I want to see Him. And I just imagine myself worshiping Him all by myself right there in front of Him. That's how I worship. I'm worshiping something. I'm worshiping someone. I'm going to give them my attention. When I sing, I don't sing just with my words. I sing with my heart. I sing with my mind. I sing with my body. If I'm not sweating, I'm not singing. I'm just laying the groundwork before I get busy here, y'all. Stay with me. I'm laying the groundwork before I get busy here because this is so important. And I'm going to put this to rest once and for all. Of course, one day I'm on top of, I'm in the church, and I'm just trying to get people to sing. Not just sing. I remember when there was a vote to take the hymn book out of the hands of the parishioners and to look up on the screen where they could read the words on the screen. And the church wanted to be like any other church. And I keep telling them that's not the way to go. If you put the screen on the board, you will never be able to sing with that joy. And why? Because you can't see the full stop, you can't see the pronunciation. If you look at the hymnal, you'll see when to go up. You don't have to be able. You don't have to read music to understand that this is going up and that's going down. And once you start telling people you don't need to read music to know that there's a full stop here. There's a break here. You know what I'm saying? So having the hymnal was a better thing than having. But anyway, the goal is to take the hymnal out. The hymnal is like a Bible. The goal was when they put a projector in the church. The goal was to get the hymnal out of the hand. If you can take the hymnal out, you can take the Bible out. That's what they wanted. They wanted the Bible out of your hand. So they come up with Bible app, Bible app, and your hip. You think about your phone. So people in church and they're looking at their phone, their Bible on their phone. But what happened when they're distracted? On your phone, you see your notification, Facebook. You're looking at Facebook. You spend more time looking down on your phone than you're listening to what's happening. So the devil accomplished a great defeat when he was able to take the criminal out of the hands of the person and take the Bible out of the hands of the people. Now, most people don't even bring Bible to church. People go to church and Bible. You don't know if people go to church. They go to church same way they go to work. People don't have no respect for church anymore. They have no respect for congregating and worship. And they wear anything. People wear flip flops to church. Remember back in the days when you go to church, you gotta go a certain way. You're putting on your best. If you're going to meet this God, you're going to be worshiping. You put on your best. No. You are. And keep coming as you are. Come like a prostitute and stay a prostitute. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Long story short, that church also became loud. More. I was in it. And if I'm in the church, I want to see more black people in the church. I want to see a, a mix. Because if we are supposed to be Christian, I don't want to see white people worshiping over there and black people worshiping over there and Chinese people. I want to see us worshiping together because we're supposed to be going to heaven together, right? I'm a, you know, because your God is white and your Jesus is white. I just think sometimes white people believe that they don't have special place in heaven versus where black people believe. I guess black people don't believe that. And that brings me to my first point here. What was the church like before 1865? Before 1865, what was Christianity like? Because I want you to see and I want you to understand that racism and systemic racism plays a major role in our deception and it plays a major role in our misunderstanding of truth. When people see me posting these things of my past and posting these things, you think I'm crossing dissension, but I want you to read to you Matthew 24. Think not I've think not that I've come to bring peace on earth. I have not come to bring peace on earth, but with a sword. Say, the anointing. You call me Jesus. He said, I didn't come to bring peace on earth. I come with a sword to step a man against his daddy, a daughter-in-law against his mother-in-law, a mother against mother. A man's worst enemy will be the members of his own house. So you have to understand something about this Bible you're reading. You're not reading it properly. True freedom is when I can speak on top of my lungs and shouting out something at you that you're preaching against at the top of your lungs. The question I have to ask you, can we coexist? Because you want to coexist believing what you believe in, and you want me to be a part or a member of the same church, believing something totally different, seeing something totally different, but don't say nothing. Because once I open my mouth and say something, I'm causing dissension. I'm going to ask you, Chris, what was Christianity like before 18? And what is Christianity like after 18? Let me ask you, Christian, all my people, what was Christianity like before 1865? Or right? What was Christianity like after 1865? Right. And then I'm going to ask you the same question again, but instead of white, I'm not sure what it's like for black people. What was Christianity like for black people before 1865? What was Christianity like now? These are the things that you're going to say. Protestantism would break away from Catholicism. Protestantism was no different from Catholicism. You know why? Because you don't believe what you believe. You know how many people that believe it. You know how many people that still believe in different as still as I look at the history. And this is Christianity. I'm not even talking about papacy or papal. I'm talking about Christianity. I'm talking about Protestantism. You know what it would cost you to be a Baptist before 1865 and even after 1865? You don't believe that the Baptists, they came to America as one single religion, one single entity, but now there's so many different Baptists because people believe different, and people lost their lives to believe different. And that's the evolution of belief. As somebody believes something, somebody believes different, they move out, they draw some people with them, they create a new entity, and they call it by the name of that entity. And you and I take on the name of that entity, that system, that systemic system of belief. So racism, ladies and gentlemen, and racist plays a very intricate role in where we are today at belief. It hides some things as well as blatant things right up front. So now, as I look at these things, ladies and gentlemen, as I look deeper at these things and see the Most High God's role in all of this, and my role as a black man, my origin, I start to look see things differently. And because I start to see things differently, and my eyes are open, it doesn't make me a dissension, a person who starts dissension. But let me tell you something. If you really pay attention to the teachings of your Jesus, you will see very, very clearly that the truth causes dissension. It does. The truth unites, but it's also divides. That is why Jesus said, I come to reign. I did not come to bring peace on earth. So anyone who's looking for peace on earth doesn't understand truth. Because there's a God in heaven who is not the God of this world. He owns the world, but he's not the God of it. There's many gods that run this world, but they run it under one entity. That's the Luciferian religion. Thing. In the Seventh Day Adventist Church has the flame of Lucifer all up in the cross, and people don't realize it. You see that? That's you double hand like that. That's a flame. You're making a flame. This is the flame of Lucifer, and it's a new symbol of the Adventist Church. Before the Adventist Church used to be, it used to be the three angels message. The three angel used to be the symbol. But when Satan took hold of the church, he changed the image from the three angels to the flame of Lucifer, showing he has authority over that church. Even though they keep even though they keep on they worship him. He has total authority over the church. And that's why you don't hear messages that you don't hear the message that the Adventist church is known to teach, like the mark of the beast and who's the little horn's power and dress reform and health reform and all these things. Yes, Christians inside. If the church has become a regular church, only difference that it will come out. Christians can't save it. All right? But anyway, I hope I took the time to really set the pace here to make you see and understand. Because now, Chris, I'm going to talk to you. We're talking about everything. All right? But I think I invite you on my show for you to talk with me. And you thought it was going to be a one-sided conversation like how it is right now, where I'm talking to you. No, my show is here that I can give you as well as you can call into my show. You can go back to see that we have Robin Estrada, one Kennedy, another brother, and another Kennedy. And every time I invite people to my show, I say, come, let's have a conversation. They never come and have a conversation. And I know, and I see why. You see, this word expose yourself. Light expose God. If you come on my show, you have a conversation with me. then it's one of two things. You have to either disagree with me publicly and strongly, or you going to agree with me. Because you might say, let's agree to disagree. No, there's no such thing as agree to disagree. Agree to disagree is not, it's still not a clear run. It's like an indecision. An indecision is a decision. Okay? An indecision is a decision. So your choice to not make a decision, you have made one. That's what most people don't realize. They think they can cop out by saying, you know what, I'm not making a decision. Just by opening your mouth and saying you're not making a decision, you already made one. Your indecision becomes a decision. Like when Pilate washed his hands, he got, I wash my hands. You've made a decision. You're the only one that could sentence him to death. So you've made the decision. So don't come on here and talk about you, you stick your point, I stick mine, and I'm cool. Now, just so you know, Chris, I've invited many people on my show. Some was brave enough to come, but they never talked much, or they never actually listened. They didn't do more listening. You basically have to listen. And some has not come on my show, but they come on my page and they post their disagreements and their whatever they think, and they try to blow holes in my story or whatever they could. Right? And I just laugh. But later on, when they come to see me, they come and talk with me. And when I sit down and talk to them about why I do what I do and how I do it and the reason I do it, when they see it and they apologize to me, and they say, man, I don't understand. I thank you for giving that understanding. And they apologize to me, they shake with me, they want to be my friend again. But they will never come on here live and do it. They never come on live or even go back and say, you know what, let me just go and say, hey, Mike, you know, thanks for the conversation that we had. I actually see where you're going now. I'm sorry that I was speaking to you. One person at the moment, one person, and I say thank you. Everybody else, and I'm talking about white people. Mr. Carmichael is the only one that has ever publicly made come to me and talk to me off here and go back online and publicly say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Now I see. Now I Everybody else would come to me offline or they message me and we talk and then they see where I'm going and then they go, sorry, you know, but they never come in, they never go back, they never talk, and they never come on the show because they're afraid of being exposed. Now, if you're exposed, somebody will see that you're with the nonsense that I'm talking about, are you against the nonsense? And it's easier to be against the nonsense because guess what? When you're against the nonsense, guess what? You're back in the same realm of okay with. You're against the narrative. You're okay with the narrative. It's what you've been living all your life. So if you were to agree with you, you're going to go against the norm, which might get you ostracized. Now let's talk about the 480,000 white men that died in the Civil War, so I can have a freedom to sit here and talk to you. Many, many times I've said this before. Many white people died so that I can have freedom. Many, many white people. When we couldn't go to the courthouse, they were in court fighting for my freedom, fighting for my right to be able to sit here in my home like this and sit and talk to you in social media. White people died for me. I acknowledge that many, many people. When I hear a brother talk about racism, I said, you got to look deep into history. You got to look deep into history. Yes, we're in a systemic racist society. However, there are some good white people that will give their lives up for the cause. You look at the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a show. I don't even want to get into that. But it's like, if you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, how many white people you see out there running with the Black Lives Matter? You got to look at it. It's not a race. When I post these things on my post, I'm not trying to be racist or ostentatious. I'm trying to give information I was not privy to, that I didn't know, that I did not understand, that I did not see. And I post on my post because I have a platform where people look at it. And then the problem is that most people that look at my platform are white people, right? I got a lot of white people that look at my platform. I got a lot of black people that look at my platform. And I got a lot of white people that look at my platform that knows me personally. So because they thought they know me personally, but they know me, they interact with me, they associate with me. So when they see me putting up things, they like, how can I be doing that? He's not that kind of guy. I'm so why is he causing dissension? Why is he going backward? You don't understand. Half the things I'm posting, I didn't know myself. And I'm 51 years old. So I'm 51 years old and I didn't know half the things. What about my son? What about my grandson? They don't know. So we got to keep these things alive. We got to keep these alive. If you don't know your past, you're bound to read. If you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. And so that if you truly don't want to repeat history, you have to teach it now. And if you put it aside, this is going to happen. You're going to repeat it. So those 480,000 that you said died for my freedom. I understand it. And I want you to understand something first. They died. And for those who are watching, I'm speaking to my white brothers. I'm speaking to my white friends, my white associates. Those 480,000 people that you so elegantly put that fought in the civil rights and died so that I can be free. They died. And I want you to understand that. That's because they were willing to give their lives. They're willing to give their life for a better opportunity. What's happening now? How many white people are willing to give their life for a better world and expose themselves? If you were to look at my post, you would see that it's I'm posting mostly white people. Look at my post. Where two brothers might come up there and they might say something, and I'm like, yeah, that's important. Let me post that. Yeah, that's important. Let me post that. But most of my posts, white people are finding out. And what white people are saying. I call those people, those white people, my brothers. You know why I call them my brothers? Because they see it. They open the door that they can see what's going on and they're willing to come forward. You know why racism is still alive as well in this country? Chris? Because white people refuse to do something. Racism is a white people issue, it's not a black issue. Racism is not a white, it's not a black issue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying this to all my white friends now. If you still consider me a friend, racism is a white person issue. We're feeling the effect of racism. It's destroying both white and black. If you look at your history, anytime there's a real change, anytime there's a change that happens, it's because white people stand up. It's because white people stand up. Now, Chris, Mr. Chris Winham, you talk about Martin Luther, you talk about not Martin Luther, the four-star general there, the general, you talk about me, you talk about how I'm living and I work hard and all these kind of stuff. Not because we see black people doing well, mean that we have equality with black people in general. If you're a man who can come forward and if you're doing, you can't look at the staff, those who control your information. If you look at the stats when it comes to black and black crime, if you look at the stats when it comes to black and black crime, you have to see the stats is more against you on the white side. There's more white on white crime than there are black and black. You look at the stats, and I put it up on my post. Not a white person exposing crime. Stats. Because all you see on the television when it comes to black versus white, you look, there's cops, cops, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a stat. Police officers kill more white than they do black. This is the stats. Cool. Police officers kill more white people than they do black. You've never heard about white or white crime. That's untrue. When the news in dealing with black people was stuck, who won? And in dealing with white people was poor in the sky, was hatred. If you look at all the white people who stormed the Capitol, how does the news feel? Yeah, one or two are getting persecuted. They know they gotta stop. When they when they when they when they stormed the Capitol, the police officers were there issuing, hey, go on in, go on in, go on in. It was planned. This was a plan. It was planned. When the plan to open your eyes, you'll see it. From a black perspective and a white perspective, plain, plain is just if you're fighting for equal rights. White people don't fight for equal rights. I'll ask any white person, do you want to be a black? Would you like to be a black person? Spend a day as a black person in my shoes? Would you want to trade places as a black? I wouldn't. I've not heard one white person ever said, "Let me trade places with you." If they could, I say, raise the hand of all who would like to be black for a week. I don't think many hands would go up. If you go to a black neighborhood and say, raise your hand if you would be like you like to be white for a week. You see many hands go up. That's why our black people are bleaching their skin. They're bleaching their skin so that hopefully they can get an opportunity. Even Chinese people are bleaching. You know, bleaching people. Um, I can tell you, Chris, that when you look at, you can look at my life and and that's good. Work hard, do what I have to do, anybody at the end do you understand. So you look at black people like this, you have to understand the perception of sport. You have to understand that even there's without going too deep, there's such a thing as secret society. And many people don't know about the secret within the secret. Because if you understand that there's a government within government, that's something you want to talk about. It's not interested. Hello, Chris, if you understand that there is a government in a government, There's a government that runs the government. You understand this? If you understand that there is a religion within a religion, a religion runs the religion. If you understand this, that there's a church within a church, and what you see out in the forefront is not what's underneath. Chris, if you understand that the FBI, the FEMA, IRS, the CIA is a private entity, they're privately owned. So the information that you're receiving, if you understand who controls the media and the information that is allowed to blast in the ear, if you understand, if you understand, if you understand the remember those Haitians, 10,000 of them, I was on the bridge in Florida. Where am I? What about all the refugees that are coming from other countries who are white? Refugees. And if you look at refugees, that you know, I don't want to get into that. I think me and you got to talk about that more. And I want to. I'm not going to bring all of that stuff. Maybe I have to talk about that more. That's Chris. You don't know. You really don't. And I can say, but I really don't know you either. You know, we're associates. We don't know each other. I don't know your core belief. You don't know mine. Right? But man, you have to understand. You have to get to know me. You want to know where I'm going with these things. You got to get to know me. You got to get to get to see it. What I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, there are secret societies that are controlling life functions. Let me share something with you guys. You guys may or may. Our beloved Martin Luther King. Our beloved Martin Luther King. I have a dream. Did you know that I have a dream was not written by Martin Luther King? How many of you know that? Let me ask you another question. Did you know that Martin Luther King, his name was not Martin Luther King? Did you know that? His real name is not Martin. You know that his real name is Michael? And if you look at the name, why did he change his name from Michael to Martin? You need to know, understand what name means. What name means, what name represents. Did you know that Martin Luther King was a 33-degree Freemason? How many people know? How many people know that Martin Luther King was a 33-degree Freemason? If you know anything about Freemasons, you know after 30 degrees, you're a whole different class. Because how many people knew that Nelson Mandela was 33 degrees? How many people I will give you one line. How many people knew or know Saddam Hussein? Saddam Hussein is a 33 degree freeze. How many people know? I give you one line. You know what I mean? Black people, you know what I mean? I'll give you one line. How many of you know that George Floyd, George Floyd, is a 33 degree freeze and that his death so what you will know because we're seeking something that causes chain reaction, causes things to flow, and you don't have ever do you know that the Black Lives Matter movement was funded by a white and headed by three witches? Who do you know? everything, and that it was staged and planned. Don't follow the money. I'm talking about millions of dollars funneled its way to the black market. One last W, the NWAC. You can start from nobody is doing it. That's why we don't know. You know, the Most High God says, "My people are destroyed for lack of me." He also says, "Because they rejected me, they also rejected you." They rejected the Lord. Let me tell you what I've learned about Lord. You are designed to be governed by Lord. I don't look at the man. I don't look at the skin complexion. I don't look at the, not even the systemic race. I don't look at how we think. You know, those things are jokes. But you gotta look at those things in law and law. You gotta look at the law and who right here. In 1865, when we have the Emancipation Act, you know what laws came into counteract or counter-reformate the, the amendment in 1865? What laws came into play to counteract this law? Come on now. What was an official law? It came in to change the narrative of the freedom that black people were supposed to have. Did you know that all the police stations, all the police hospitals, jailhouse, prison system is all private sector? Do you know that laws are changed and rules that laws do you know statistics is one in four black people will go to jail in the one you see, you see, you see. We're the minority. Black people are not enough. I think it's still not black. You know that there's a law that makes it legal to enslave black prisoners. So it would be important on those who are making the law, those who are showing the television, to show black people murder and black crime, all these kind of things, and fix laws and sentence higher than the norm to put black people away so they can use it by law and say, I know more than what you think I know. Those who are watching me say, let me see that. I need information. But what I want you guys to see, if you're black and you can chase your lineage through the Atlantic Slave Trade, you know, we are more powerful. You're nothing when you think the man of slaves and all trying to fight for equality. First, we were trying to fight for the rights of the Jews because the Constitution said we're the Jews. And did you know that there's a law in Christianity that you can't kill a Muslim Christian? You know, so how is it that Christianity could enslave black people, kill black people, rape black people, and still go to church every Sunday? How were they able to get over that? Why? Because there was a law that says we're not more than 350. You never know anything about it. That's why a slave owner can be Christian and have faith. And then they look at the Bible and justify it. They say, well, look, they're slaves in the Bible. God sanctions slave in the Bible. And yet they didn't read the rest of the scripture that says slaves should go free after 7 years. How come they not reading? How come they not reading? A slave should be set free after 7 years. A slave have the right to be able to buy his or her freedom. You gotta understand, you gotta understand racism, racist, systemic racism, you have to understand how things are, are spiritual. And I think what I want people to understand is that slavery and racism and race plays a spiritual in your life as a white person and in our life. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And of course, that I'm looking for sense, but there will be no peace until people come to a true understanding. And what people want to do is throw it under the rug. That's in the past. That's in the past. Let's just move on. Not just move. Matter of fact, obvious Gibson, Matthew 18 says, if you brothers sin. Now I want you to pay very close attention to what your Jesus said. If your brother sin against you, you must go to your brother. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. If your brother sins against you, you must go to your brother and show him his fault. If he doesn't listen, you want to others. Why? Because there's a law that every matter must be established between two and three witnesses. That's why we have a jury. That comes out of the Bible. No law supersedes God's law. No law. All laws were created, supposed to be created on the merit of not law. You can always tell the laws that men are making that goes against the law of God. That's why the country is in the only thing right now. It is because people reject the law of God. So, bring to a reality. If he does not listen to you, tell it not to what? Obligation. You still understand what the sentence. What you do not. That comes out of Jesus' mouth. You're right. So when you think of systemic racism that benefits a particular group of people who are still living in that system, who are still benefiting from that system, the only way that system is going to change is those group of people stand up. You think that will ever happen? Because if you stand up first, you may have to people not to. They'll see it in the only people, the only white people that will come forward are those who are willing. And let me tell you something. There's a price for following this belief system. You're not willing to give up your life. You fight it. You're just giving you his word. And this you're willing to do everything you have. Not inside. You know, I asked a gentleman today, I asked him, I said, what is the difference between a Christian and a disciple? And what can you listen for? So what gentleman? If you're different between being a disciple and a Christian, he said, yes. And he said, um, for the master teaching Christian people to to- to- because asking because asking audiences, what is the difference between Christian and disciple? Jesus, what did you say? We can have the same, we have the same answer or something in that realm. Is there a difference between a Christian and a disciple? If you said yes, I would say you're right. You're very correct. If you say no, ladies and gentlemen, I would say you're very correct. So let's go to the first. Yes. If you say there's a difference between a Christian and a disciple, I will tell you. Now, why I would say yes? Because there's a difference between a Christian and a disciple. A Christian will not lay down their life, probably know it. And a Christian is totally different from how the disciples walk with him. So let's go to the second one. Is there a difference between a Christian? Let's go to the no. Is there a difference between a Christian and a disciple? For those who say, no, you're also wrong. If you understand how a Christian and a disciple is one and the same. According to the scriptures, and the disciples were called Christians. And a disciple and a Christian is one and the same person. And how is it that a disciple or a Christian act different from a disciple when they're one and the same? It's supposed to be because the very word so-called word Christian is supposed to come from the word Christian. And what people don't realize, the word Christian means sneer in Greek. That's what it means in Greek. It means to sneer Greek. Greek, Greek. Right? That's what it means, but people don't know that. They said Christus comes from the word Christ, and the Christ is Christian, and that's why we're Christian. We're followers of Jesus Christ. But Christianity doesn't follow Jesus. And Jesus Christ is not a Christian. So there's a deception in the very word Christian. And I can't even go back to tell you how Christian plays a role in the life of people who since I can't, since I cannot express being right, I don't know how to be right. I can surely express being black. That's what I'm doing. I'm expressing being black. I don't know what it means to be right. I don't know what it means to be right. I never want to know it, but I can show me, show me what it means to be right. What does it mean to be right in America? What does it mean to be right, period? And here's a question that I ask many people. Who told you you were right? Chris, who told you you were right? Last time I checked, right was something like this. But we know it's semantics. So we're not going to go with the semantics. But who told you you were right? Ask many white people. Who told you you were right? Here's what I ask many white people too. Who told you you were right? Who told you that I am right? I ask many white people. Who told you that I am black? Who told you you were white? And who told you that I'm black? Because my parents never told me, ever. So I'll tell you, if you want. ancestors. So systemic racist society all your life. If you see what the little interview that they have the little kids and there's a picture of the same little girl on the picture, and they put it from white to dark. The actual white girl, little white girl, which is the bad, little white girl, and the dark. But here's the thing, when they do the same scenario with the little black, and the bad kid, the little black kid, and the reverse is the same. Show me the little good kid. They talk right up the white girl, the white boy, and the black girl and the black boy. Like, where did they learn it? I can tell you this information that their parents never taught them. And I can tell you that their parents never taught them. So why would the white kids believe that the black kids are bad and the white kids are good? Why would the white kids think the same way? It's systemically taught by the things they see, by the things they learn. Children learn by what they see. They imitate what they see. They learn. So when they look at TV, they see all the superheroes, all the things, all the good things that they do. They see all of that. And when they look at the news, they see all the bodies and Mary Rose and black and black. Systemically, they're being black and white. But if they don't know what being black and white, and that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm understanding. So let me close this by saying to the brothers and sisters in the United States, you and I may not have been beaten, raped, murdered. We have not gone through our forefathers and through the embodiment struggle. It's up to us to keep our lives. It's up to us to never forget. It is up to us to never stop teaching, never stop showing, never stop bringing it to our children. And we're not looking for stuff. Most times people think we're looking for stuff. Yeah, people they know what we they don't live in and you can world and Japanese not looking for it's the only person that can give you freedom, freedom, and I know that I'm on the first, I'm the person in the first who consciousness is obedience. So I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in Atlantic States Church, we are on the first work 400 years. If you look at the history, look at our history, Bible, you look at the history, the most high God Yahweh, it is spoke to Abraham, that your children shall be in the land of Israel. He said, after 400 years, they speak in the and gather a nation is so free. He can come and gather us, and he can take us to the river, where he can rebuild us into the nation he wants and give us the strength to all in. And then he's going to bring us to the promise. He promised, and he will do. He will do all through scripture. Tomorrow I'm going to remind you. I'm going to go through all the scriptures that I can find on what God promised to do with the children of Israel. Now let me here tell you claiming that the children of our Asian forefathers who lived in Egypt, who were slaves in Egypt, was not slaves in Egypt for 100 years. We were not there for 100 years slaves. You have to remember when Joseph went over there, Joseph, when he went over there, you have to understand that he became the second highest ruler in Egypt. Then he sent for his brothers. They came. And they live in peace and harmony until all that generation died out. And then another generation comes to save our people in Egypt. And you see it, we talk about Egypt, and Egypt is black, and Egypt is black. There's no ifs, ands, or doubt about it. All of the shows and everything you see about Egypt and Egyptology is the study of the Egyptians to change the narrative. They have done. They made Egypt white. Egypt is not white, Egypt is black. Black is not. All right? And I said this to many, many people. I said this to many, many people. White people couldn't survive in Egypt as slaves under taskmasters. They couldn't survive in Egypt. They died. Egypt is black. We went into Egypt. We were also the Egyptians enslaved us. We were not slaves in Egypt for 100 years. We were slaves in Egypt 200 plus years. And God now came to take us out of the wilderness. The only place we've been enslaved 400 years is right here. Even when the Emancipation Act in 1865, when the slaves were so-called free, we were not free. Have you ever heard of the devil in goat? You don't need to just go back after Abraham Lincoln, or wherever he was, signed the Emancipation. See what happened to black people from 1865 to the present time. And ask yourself, where the man's Emancipation Act can never set us because man never put us under a curse. The white man never put us under a curse. They were the benefactor of our curse, but they never put us under a curse, right? They never put us under a curse. We put ourselves under a curse. We put ourselves under a curse when we break the law of Yahweh. We did not keep his commands, statutes, and decrees. Our forefathers did not. They did not keep the Sabbath. They worshiped other gods. The Most High God in Deuteronomy chapter 28 sent us out to the curse of the last 400 years. And just after 400 years, we were restoring things to us. We restored his name to us. We restored who we are as a people. And now we're taking us one by one, two by two, to the wilderness. Only a remnant can only a remnant because we have to leave. The rest of us is going to stay in here, try to get freedom, try to get reputation, try to get reputation. I don't want no reputation. Keep your money. I don't want your reputation. I don't want your apology. I'm not looking for that. Don't apologize to me. Don't apologize to me. You know that God said, you know what he said. What I'm doing here is to bring people to acknowledge this God operating. come over here and speak to the community children shape the movement to the go on YouTube, look up the guy's name, Dominic Ford. Start with the true name of the field, Dominic Ford, R-A-D-M-A-D-S. Not for the true God, creator of heaven and earth, sent us a Dominic Ford to restore his country to it. He prophesied in Isaiah 46, verse 11, shall not go, for Isaiah 46, 11. And you can look at the Dominic Ford and see in David. First Kings 17, starting verse 2 to about 8. If you have allowed me to the most of that, allow me to do it. And then we Isaiah 46, starting verse 8. Read verse 8 to Isaiah 8. Actually, you know who we are, and what is expected. Okay? So what I have to say, done, now, until next time. The choice is yours. Let me just say bye to Facebook and YouTube. Please follow me on Facebook and YouTube at Michael Stewart. And if you're not on Facebook and YouTube, follow me on TikTok. A1 Smith. A1 at the back of TikTok. Search for truth. And you get into the 1,000 followers. And the goal is to build this content with you so I can give you information you need. It's up to you if you want to take it. It's truly up to you. And for the first thing you know this. You do not worship the triune God. You do not worship Jesus as God. You worship not priesthood. We not worship, we not worship. It is God. And you will be our king. Most of God. Okay? We don't worship on Sunday. Sunday is not our day of worship. Seventh day is 24 hours. Yeah. Not Friday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. It is literally Saturday morning to morning to the God. We worship when we do this afternoon. We worship God. God is working. You must go back to the Lord. You must go back to Him for the repentance and turn to your David's voice and promise that you will be able to heal your people or all people must walk in this thing.